This guide is perfect for UK small business owners who want to ensure they are staying compliant with UK tax laws. Hello everyone, first of all, apologies, I'm a little bit under the weather, but as the UK tax year is fast approaching, I thought I need to get my tax return done. And to do that, first of all, we need to get our Etsy sales and expenses. I'll show you in detail how I'm doing this for my business, and I've been doing it for years now, so it's working. So come along and let's get this dreadful task done together. So let's open the spreadsheets and start from the start. When you open your Etsy website, you could be anywhere in your website, but what you have to choose is the settings option on the sidebar, and then we'll go to the options. Click on that and it will show you shop options. There is a few little tabs in here, but what you have to click is download data. So that's where our data is stored by Etsy. In here, scroll down a bit on to orders. CSV type, let's choose orders first of all, and then down below there is option for month and year, so let's choose a year, 2023. On month side you can select specific months, but just leave months as a month, and so just download CSV, and this is the data that you get out of here. As you can see, I've covered up my customers' names, but this is one of my shops, Etsy sales in 2023. So as we are doing the tax return for 2023-24, I'm deleting January to March data because this I've used for last year, and just leaving April to December 2023 data, and I'll copy that data. Here is a worksheet I have prepared for myself. Next, organising your data. So once you've downloaded all your data, it's time to get organised. So I've created this worksheet on numbers. If you're really interested, I can share this template with you. I've used this template for years, and then I'll save it down each year and use it again and again. And so it's made my process much faster and takes out the stress of getting the information out of Etsy. And so we'll just paste the data here. The system is playing up a bit for me at the moment, so I'll just working with Excel documents for my main job as well. So I know that you need to be outsmarting the Excel quite often. So I'm just going to be trying alternative ways of getting the information to my table. So I'll paste this way, and it's worked this time. So I'm just checking that it's the same number of rows to ensure that all data has come across. And so this is our 2023 data now here. And as you can see, I've set up this work document that it automatically brings up my Etsy sales, and then also I need to enter other data, which I'll show you in a minute, and then it will give me the amounts that I need to use for UK tax return. I'll go back to the Etsy website now and choose 2024 or the following year. So because we need to get January to March data here. Okay, so I will choose January to March data from here. This is one of my smaller shops, so I haven't got many sales here, but I need to do the tax return regardless. So again, I've just disguised, and then we'll just drop it below, just making sure that a number of lines are accurate. And so just visually seeing that the figure that we expected roughly is correct. Next, what we need to do is bring a deposit. So on the Etsy website, choose payment deposits option on CSV. Again, we're going to do 2023 and 2024 as a whole year, and then we'll choose the data accordingly. April to December, March data we've used last year. I know the deposits are sometimes not done exactly on a first of the month. As you can see, the first one was 3rd of April. So, but I know what data I used last year. So as long as you're consistent with that, the information is acceptable and accurate enough. And from 2024 data now, we're taking February to March deposits. We'll copy that information and paste it to our worksheet. Now you can see that my Made by Haberdashery Etsy sales have been recorded, deposits total up, and then it calculates the Etsy fees automatically. Sales minus deposits is anything that Etsy has taken from me. So this is how I get my Etsy sales information. So let's go through the document in more detail. So I've got it set up so that I can record everything relating to my business. Let's just quickly go over. So I've shown you how to do the Etsy items. So other orders, to be honest, I'll just take my phone and my business account app and go through from April 1st, 2023 to 31st of March and just look through each of the transactions. If it's related to Etsy, I know it's captured, deposits, and then if it's anything else, I know I need to record it here. So first thing I noticed was Royal Mail. I put £50 in there. So next order is 21st of April, again Royal Mail. Can't remember what I did that column for. Postage, and then I purchased 25, and then what it relates to. So this is very important information. So as I enter that, if we skip back to the summary tab, you can see the expenses, including postage, is popping up in here. Okay, so 50 and 25. So automatically combined, because I'm using the same Royal Mail account for both of my businesses, I'm capturing that under the combined section. So then I've got 27, 2023. So I'm using also a account software, I think, which you need to start using based on HMRC. So I'm using Coconut at the moment, not suggesting that you should be using that. But yeah, that again is for both of us. So it's linked to my bank. It picks up the transactions automatically. That's another way. I think in the future I'll see if I can use my Coconut as a way of capturing my sales, but because it doesn't take the sales information from Etsy, so that's the downfall at the moment. So whether there is a way to do that, but yeah, I'll have a look in the future. Maybe there is a new video coming up next year, who knows. But yeah, so that is what I'm using. Next, it's all sales. Paid myself 100, so that's my personal. Amazon. From Amazon, I'm usually buying like tools for my sewing business, my Made by Haberdashery, but not supplies. What is it? Equipment. That should be 48, and then just Made by Haberdashery. So let's see how it captured it. Made by Haberdashery. So there you go, it's picked it up under here. When I do something, although I've used it every year, but I only use it once a year, I've always promised myself that I would monthly or then quarterly at least, but end up doing it in January, so you forget how the thing works. So preparing for UK tax return. So next step is to determine your tax year. The UK tax year runs from April 6th to the following April 5th, but for small businesses, or any businesses actually, you can use full calendar years as well. So the way I have done it is end of March is ending my financial year, and then from April 1st, my next year starts. HMRC allows this kind of little variation because they know that a few days, to include a few days in April, is extra work, lots of extra work. So the tax year runs from April to March, let's say broadly, and so you need to make sure that you collated data regarding that, and that is exactly what we've just done. So you need to include all your income, so ensure all the sales income is reported, including any other platforms. If you sell face-to-face, you need to have the records of these on eBay, Amazon, or just PayPal invoices or a website. You need to include all these sales. And then another thing that to bear in mind when you're preparing your UK tax return is there is some expenses that you're allowed to deduct from your profit. So these can include Etsy fees, which we calculated, shipping, packaging, so any your shipping costs. I use Royal Mails. I only use it for my business, so I know exactly how much money I've paid for that. So I don't need to track every individual postage cost, but it's already recorded on their website as well. So if I need to provide that to HMRC, then I'll have this information readily available. And then another thing, don't forget, is if you're running your business from home like I do, you're allowed to claim a proportion of your home office expenses or home expenses. So if you're using a room to run your business, you can deduct or calculate proportion of the cost you incur. We'll go into more detail in a different video about that, but just to know that you can calculate proportion of your home office or workspace and allocate these expenses to your expenses as a business expenses as well. That reduces your profit and therefore you pay less tax. So, but make sure you keep record of all the receipts that you incur for any supplies you're buying. Make sure you keep your records, okay? So that's very important. So final step of completing your tax return is filling your tax return on HMRC website. I'm planning doing a separate video for that because it will be too long to cover here. But you need to make sure you're registered with HMRC if you haven't done so already well in advance. Don't leave it until last minute. Then you use the self-assessment system to file your return. And there you need to enter your sales and your expenses figures, which we calculated, and off you go. And remember, the deadline to fill in your tax return, online tax return, is 31st of January. So if you haven't done it for 23-24, if you're watching it this year, or for the following years, if you're looking at it next year, make sure you don't leave it to the last day, okay? I have left it a few times quite close to last day, but this year it's just January. I'm already late for my own sanity, but yeah, because I've had cold, so I was hoping that I'll recover from it and then I can share this with you. So 31st of January, following the end of the tax year, is when you need to fill in your report and submit it. By following these simple steps, I hope you've seen that you'll be well on your way to extracting your Etsy shop sales and expenses data, and preparing your UK tax return will be total. If you found this video helpful, please give me a thumbs up, subscribe more for small business helpful tips and hints.